Guys, with roughly 24 hours until we get a monthly close for Bitcoin's price, the highest monthly close, in fact, in Bitcoin's history, if we maintain some key critical levels, what exactly is the difference between this current cycle and where we are in terms of the Fib retraces of this cycle compared to what happened back in 2017? Welcome back, everyone, to another Bitcoin webisode. I am Harry Chestnuts, filling in for Harry Pumper. Guys, we've got an absolutely insane webisode for you here today. And we are going to be taking a step back and taking a look at some of these much longer time frames for Bitcoin's chart, as we are just hours away from a weekly close, but more importantly, about 24 hours roughly away from potentially the highest monthly close in Bitcoin's history. And what exactly could this monthly close do for Bitcoin? Could something absolutely drastic happen to Bitcoin's price? And in fact, could this be a December to remember? And guys, did you know if you turn this button blue, Hermione and her gaggle of women will tuck you in and give you a goodnight smooch? And your wildest dreams potentially might come true. And guys, time is running out. If you're interested in trading and you want to get up to an additional $610 to trade with on Bybit, make sure to use the link below using code WIN, $500. Experienced traders only, and only if you want to support the channel. And as always, guys, every single comment does make you eligible to win these ledgers, equivalent in BTC or access to T4. So guys, if we pull out this historical market cap for the entire cryptocurrency market, you can see back in 2013, basically exactly 7 years ago, almost to the week, right? Back about December 3rd or about November 30th. So literally about exactly 7 years ago, Bitcoin actually topped out. Or sorry, the entire cryptocurrency market, not just Bitcoin, the entire cryptocurrency market topped out at around 15 billion US dollars, right? Wow, $15 billion for the entire cryptocurrency market cap. Now that was a steal, but in fact now it is billions and billions of dollars per some of these individual coins, not just Bitcoin's market cap, right? So we've come a long way. So if we actually zoom out, we can kind of just take this a little bit at a time. You can see, yeah, it got a lot higher. This is what we were just looking at right here, this little blip, right? What an itsy bitsy, teensy weensy little blip. Now if we zoom out even more, wow, it becomes even more of a little blip. And let's actually just pull it all the way to 2020. And it's basically going to be the same size because 2017 was the all-time high there. So yeah, absolutely insane. So just 7 years ago, here we were setting all-time highs with $15 billion in market cap for the entire crypto market. And currently we're at over $500 billion for the entire cryptocurrency market cap, guys. Now that is exciting. So if we pull out this chart, so on the top, what we have here is our current cycle, this current bear market. And then what we have here is the bear market from 2013 all the way until 2016. 2017 really was the beginning of the bull market. Talk about pumpage. So one of the key things I think is important to note, a lot of people talk about the expanding cycles. And I think the best thing to illustrate that is probably this. So this is just the BLX chart, but if we just kind of look at this, you know, we had a massive pump and then we had another pump that was more prolonged. And then again, this was kind of weird. It had like again, even when we look at these cycles, they're never exactly identical, right? You can see this kind of did like a little double switcheroo right there. And then you can see this cycle was much, much, much longer. And what a lot of people have been thinking up until recently, I think they've maybe given up or just don't push this narrative as hard anymore. But they were saying, well, this cycle is going to be even longer, right? Maybe something like that, where it could be out until 2022, 2023 before we break all-time highs or really start the bull cycle, right? There are a lot of people saying things like that. And again, I have never agreed with that. I've never been somebody that actually pushed that narrative, but it's something interesting because if you take a look at this chart and you would just, you know, look at it for a minute or two, it seems like something that's reasonable, right? Very explosive in a very short amount of time, then explosive, but not quite as explosive percentage-wise in a little bit longer amount of time, and kind of that same similar pattern, right? One thing I want to note about that is, again, we don't really have a ton of data. We have only 3 halvings, so again, there's not too much that you can extrapolate from this in general, so it makes it hard to really prove anything, right? And again, everyone talking about price in this space, all of it is speculative. Everything I'm saying and everything that you've ever heard from anybody, billionaires or just other people on YouTube or Twitter or Reddit, everybody's just speculating on the price. Like nobody actually knows. And again, that's one of the most exciting things about this is that the sky is the limit, right? But I don't necessarily think these cycles are expanding. And one of the reasons, I actually want to just take a look here and compare this to the last cycle. For one, we actually came back up to the golden pocket, right about the 618, 6.5 right here. the golden pocket very, very quickly, right? We topped out at the end of 2017, and then about a year and a half later, in the middle of 2019, we were already testing the 618, the golden pocket. We got a very big rejection, but for the most part, this was insane. $20,000 down to $3,000, up to $14,000 in the same in that same window of about a year and a half. Now, did that happen in the previous cycle? No. And again, these cycles will never repeat exactly. And again, that's one of the reasons that I mean, pretty much the fundamental reason I don't think that you can just say that each cycle is expanding again, and especially because of fundamental adoption. And, you know, with this institutional talk, everyone, including myself, have been talking about, it's just something that you cannot factor in to the price, in my opinion. You just cannot factor that in to the model because, again, I think it's more of like a factor X type scenario where the true nature and the true acceleration to the space that it will bring, I just don't think it's possible to just put that in a chart. Okay, it's a little less predictable, I think. So that's one of the main reasons that I counted out. But as you can see here in the other previous cycle, again, these are about the same periods of time, right? This is back in 2018 to about 2021. This is back in 2014 to about 2017. So both of these charts are about 3 years worth of data roughly on each chart. Now, when we topped out here around 1,200 US dollars, it took quite a bit longer to get up to the golden pocket here of about 800. It took roughly 2 years to get back up there. I'm sorry, it actually took almost 3 years. It took roughly about 2.5 years. So about twice as long to even come back up to retest the 618. But then as you can see, we got a small little rejection, found support on the 0.38, and then continued higher. And we traded right underneath all-time highs for about 4 to 5 monthly candles before truly breaking out. And now, again, obviously because of what happened back in the summer of 2019, we got a very big rejection. We did not find support at the 318, in fact, or the 382, sorry. We found support at the 0.23, and actually a little bit below that. Basically, it was the 200-day moving average, or the 200-week moving average. That was actually, I mean, keep in mind, guys, that was a devastating move, right? I remember watching the chart going from like 93 to 3,000, or even like 4,000 in a very, very short amount of time because of what happened around the world back in March of this year, right? That's the crash I'm talking about. So yeah, we actually went very much below that. And let me actually just switch to this chart because, yeah, so it was the 200 week moving average is where we found support. So that's how you know things got really brutal, that we actually went even substantially below that, but we ultimately on a weekly chart ended up finding support in terms of the candles on the 200 week. So we actually even went below the 200 week moving average, which is extremely drastic. But anyway, if we switch back to just kind of keep these cycles in comparison here, if Bitcoin in just about 24 hours of the time I'm recording this video gets a close anywhere above 16,000 US dollars, but pretty much 16.3, we want it to be above 16.3. If in the next 24 hours Bitcoin gets a monthly close above 16,300, that would be extremely bullish. We'd be above that 0.786 here on this Fib retrace. And I think that December, in my opinion, that would kind of green light December to be an absolutely explosive month. Obviously, the momentum and everything is just already building in Bitcoin, right? We're living through the moment. We can't just only look at the charts because these charts are telling us something, but fundamentally, everything going on in the world as well, we have to factor that in, right? You can never just look at TA. We have to factor a lot of stuff in. So factoring in everything going on in the space, everything all of us read about and learn about every single day, in combination with these charts, I think December will be absolutely explosive if we can get a monthly close above 16,300. But as well, guys, we'll have the highest monthly close in history if we get anywhere above 14,000 as a close, right? So as long as we close above 14,000, let's round up a little bit, 14,200, 14,100, that'll be the most bullish monthly close, the highest monthly close Bitcoin has ever had. And again, that kind of thing just snowballs. And that's really the story of, I think, what this bull cycle is going to be, is just snowballing, momentum building and building and building. And let's take a look at what happened during the last cycle, right? You can see for about 4 to 5 months, we were struggling to get above the all-time highs right around 1,200. And let's kind of just zoom out and see what happened afterwards, guys. Literally explosive straight up. You can see this price action, everything we were just looking at, it becomes a blip compared to what actually ends up happening. Look at this. Literally becomes a straight little squinched line compared to the price action that we do see, right? It absolutely explodes to the upside. Absolutely monumental. In fact, if we just take a look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, we had 4 straight green candles, actually 5 straight green monthly candles after we broke all-time highs previously, going from 1,100 to about 5,000 US dollars roughly before getting a monthly pullback. So we basically had 5 straight monthly green candles, almost 4xing the price of Bitcoin immediately after breaking the all-time highs. And guys, that's the kind of move that you need to be anticipating for when we do break, right? When we do break this. So again, this is like your last chance to really get your portfolio set and get yourself mentally prepared and get a game plan, right? It may seem boring right now for some people, although I don't really see how people could think this is boring, but the fact that we haven't broke all-time highs just yet, I guess maybe is a reason for that. But this is the point in time where you want to have everything figured out. You don't want to be making any new decisions or changing your plan at all. Have what you want to do, have everything figured out now, because when we start seeing things like this, it'll be kind of silly to try to, when we start seeing things like this, it's not when you want to start panicking and trying to figure out, well, what do I want to do with my portfolio? What do I want to do with my investments? Make sure you have that figured out now. So again, I think that's just like the best illustration of how bullish these markets get. And again, we are extremely close. I do think that it's very likely that we're going to see this happen fairly soon. And I definitely think December is very likely to be the month that we break all-time highs. And guys, you know what happens when we break all-time highs? We can go extremely parabolic like this. We can just go basically monthly green candle after monthly green candle. And if we just take a look even at the chart here of where we currently are, we already have 2 green monthly candles, assuming that we get the monthly close in about 24 hours anywhere above 14,000 US dollars, then we'll have 2 green monthly candles. And this can be the beginning. Maybe we're on green candle number 2 out of 5 or something like that, right? And again, even 30, 40, 50, $60,000 per Bitcoin in the next 3 to 6 months is a very likely possibility in my opinion. So again, be prepared. This thing is extremely ready to burst. As you can see, all of the key Fibonacci levels currently we're above, especially the golden pocket and also the 786. Wow, guys, and I want to show you this as well. This is the entire cryptocurrency market cap, which we are not necessarily too close to breaking all-time highs of that, right? So Bitcoin is extremely close, but the reason that the entire cryptocurrency market cap is not quite as close is mainly because a lot of these altcoins are still, for the most part, really far away from their all-time highs. A lot of these altcoins, there's still some coins that are, 70, 80, 90% down from their all-time highs, right? So even though Bitcoin's doing extremely well, the entire cryptocurrency market is lagging behind, which if you're an investor, that usually means that's probably a better opportunity to get into some of those alts for the long term. But yeah, I had to extrapolate this a little bit actually, because this chart didn't actually go all the way back to the previous cycle, but it did top out at around 15, I think it was about 14.8 billion. So I just kind of drew some lines in there to represent what it actually looked like. But you can see with the cryptocurrency market cap kind of rounded off like this, and same exact story. If we just zoom in, you can see same exact story. As soon as we broke all-time highs like that, guys, look how parabolic this gets. Especially altcoins really account for this. Altcoins absolutely exploded in 2016 and 2017. Let me actually just minimize that because it's too ridiculous. I can't even fit it on the screen. Yeah, that little rounded bottom that we had becomes nothing because of how parabolic the chart gets, right? It just absolutely exploded to, obviously insane figures, almost to $1 trillion. And again, we're seeing that same exact thing shape up here. So let me just pull that back out. Where we have this rounded area, and you can see it accelerates really quickly. As soon as it broke those all-time highs, the entire market went insane. And you can see we're, again, not quite as close here, so I think you still have a little bit of time there. But when altcoins really start picking up steam, it's going to happen extremely fast. If you just think back to about August of this year, remember how fast that happened, right? Altcoins absolutely exploded, while as Bitcoin back at that time wasn't doing too much. It was, right around the 10,000 roughly dollar area, but altcoins absolutely skyrocketed. And altcoins tend to blow up extremely fast when they do, right? It gets very explosive. So, and if we switch to this chart, you can see the BLX. One of the reasons I just have this here, this is every single halving. And yeah, this would be identical basically if we were just kind of mimicking some of these cycles in terms of where the all-time high would be. I think a very low target of an all-time high would be roughly about 200,000 for Bitcoin's next local top after this bull cycle. But again, I'm just going to be a little conservative with that just because I don't want to be too crazy with it. But again, that's probably my lowest target for this bull cycle is, right around the $200,000 level. Wow, guys. So if you're interested in trading, as always, limited time, make sure to take advantage of our links below, up to an additional $610 for trading if you have experience and you want to support the channel. only. Trading is risky, whether it's leverage or spot trading. It's just in general, trading is it's a risky thing to do, right? And again, I would only ever advise maybe trading max 10% of your portfolio. I would never trade with my entire portfolio, period. And as well, guys, second to last day to get 40% off these hardware wallets using code BlackFriday20 at checkout. All you have to do is after you add everything to your cart, you just put Black Friday 20 in the discount field, and then you'll get 40% off. All right, so let's pick a winner from yesterday's video. Video number 1, very interesting. So yesterday's video, copy link address. All right, and let's see who the winner is. So guys, make sure to shoot me an email and then just respond to whatever comment this is, their winning comment, and tell me what you want. Thinking about allocating 50% of my portfolio into Bitcoin, waiting for one last dip. What's everyone's allocation? Daniel, congrats, brother. Make sure to shoot me an email. You absolute savage. And as well, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next webisode.